Hello and welcome to the fourth video of my series where I preview the 2016 NASCAR Spring Cup season. I'm Sports Guru 716 and I hope you enjoy this episode. In this episode I'll cover the HScott Motorsports team as well as the Wood Brothers 21. With these two teams you see the newly acquired Clint Bowyer and Michael Annett. Clint Bowyer is just driving this year for Scott, and then he will be driving for Stewart-Haas in 2017. However, with Tony Stewart just being injured, there is a possibility by the time you see this video that Clint Bowyer has been announced as the driver for Tony Stewart's car, because he will be there a year later regardless. If this does occur, well then this video is kind of trash. But Clint Bowyer, as you can see, has had some success at all levels, where in Truck Series even he has 3 wins and 13 starts. Xfinity, he had a championship in 2008. And in 2012, he almost won the NASCAR championship in the Sprint Cup level. That was probably the last year he actually did very well. The reason he didn't win was, if you recall, Jeff Gordon and him getting into a big spat at Phoenix where Clint Bowyer ran through the pit road and garage area to try and fight Jeff Gordon. Clint Bowyer was a late bloomer, really, in terms of the series, so he has come along nicely. Michael Waltrip Racing just folded, which resulted in him losing his ride and then moving here. He keeps his sponsorship with 5 Hour Racing, and I believe that he has an opportunity to have a win this season. I think he has a chance every season to at least get one win. In this car, there is a chance at the short tracks where Justin Allgaier drove it as the 51 and did a decent job in some races, especially at Richmond, places like that. So I expect Clint Bowyer to compete in the top 10 in a handful of races this year. He may be able to sneak a win at one of the restrictor plate tracks. Other than that, I really don't see any success happening. He may be able to get a top 20 points finish, but other than that, I really don't think a win is in his future. Michael Annett kind of riding that Flying J pilot sponsorship that he has been his whole career. As you can see, he has no wins at any level. He had moderate success at the Xfinity level, finishing 5th place in the points in 2012. I believe he did this in a 15 car, in which case he also did have the same sponsorship. He really lives and dies by this sponsorship, and that's why he has a cup ride, is because of this sponsorship. He has really no success at any level to really deserve this ride. You'll see that as you watch NASCAR, that a lot of drivers just get the ride not because of their skill, but a lot because of their sponsorship. Because Justin Allgaier, who left this team, probably was better than Annett. He definitely is better than Annett. And, you know, he left their team, where Annett ended up staying, and Allgaier's in the Xfinity Series, and Annett's in the Cup Series. So, really, this team is a team that could probably compete for wins. In Bowyer's case, Annett's case, he'll be lucky to get 20s. But Bowyer could maybe get a couple top 10s out of this car. I would not be surprised. If not, he's at Stewart-Haas, and that's a whole nother video and a whole nother discussion. His first season as a full-time driver in a stock car, whether it be Cup or Xfinity, Ryan Blaney drives the Wood Brothers 21. The Wood Brothers 21 hasn't been a full-time team in a long time here, as a team that really only got sponsored by Ford and still does, to just race here or there, maybe 10, 15 races a year for young drivers like Ricky Stenhouse, Trevor Bayne, in which case he won the Daytona 500 a couple years ago, which gives me this. I think Ryan Blaney has a chance to win a race this year. I would not be surprised. He is the X factor. I really do believe Ryan Blaney is the best rookie out of them all. In his limited experience in the Xfinity and Truck Series, he has 4 wins in each series. Finished second in points 2 years ago in the Trucks. He finished 22nd in points in the Xfinity last season, but he barely raced. He has not had a lot of opportunities to get solid seat time. He finally gets his opportunity. Honestly, he's better than his father, Dave. Dave Blaney, a very average driver, if you will. But Ryan Blaney, man, he is the real deal. This guy is the real deal. Penske, I'm surprised Penske doesn't have sponsorship for him. Just like the Chris Buescher situation, you see a driver driving in a car for a secondary team, just to finish developing so they will be ready for the big team, even though they will be all on the same track at the same time. I would not be surprised if you see Blaney constantly competing in the top 15, get a handful of top 10s this year, and honestly, I would not be surprised if he steals a victory. I think he has the ability to win a race. He had a few instances this season where he had very good starts and he had very good qualifying positions, and he would lead a few, he did I don't think he led a few laps, but he was in the top 5 a couple times. And if he can keep his car out of the wall and he can be solid, I think he can get a couple top 10s. You could see this kid finish in the top 20 in points. I think he's a serious rookie of the year contender. I really do. I think it's between him and Chase Elliott. Chris Buescher is probably deserves a vehicle of this caliber, but with Penske backing the Wood brothers this year, you can only expect the Wood brothers to be very good as Penske shares information with them, as long as they can get the cars out in time. That was the problem with the Wood brothers. They didn't have a lot of equipment, a lot of manpower to get the job done before to race more than 10 or 15 races this season. Now, with Penske helping them, I really, really am interested to see them succeed. I really hope that you see the 21 in victory lane, because it is a rarity, at least during my lifetime, to see this car in victory lane, and it is prestigious. The Wood brothers are one of the OG teams, and it is just really cool to see a young driver like this get an opportunity in such a storied team's equipment. And I honestly think he could get them in victory lane, and I'm high on Ryan Blaney this year. I really am.